The blood that Jesus once
We saw yesterday how David said, "Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens," in Psalm 36, verse 5. The rest of that verse goes on to say that God's faithfulness reaches to the skies. So God is just as faithful as He is loving. Think about this for a second. As fallible and sinful humans, we have seen time and time again how people that love each other can be unfaithful to each other. It's a strange paradox, but it's true. In moments of temptation or in seasons of difficulty, people who do love each other can still betray each other by being unfaithful. It's as if the feelings of love are not enough to keep people faithful. You need a commitment that goes further than love. But God is not like that. God is entirely loving and He is entirely faithful. He cannot be one without the other. And this is wonderful news for us, that we are loved by a God who is faithful. That is indeed priceless, as David said yesterday. If our God loved us but broke His promises to us, how we would struggle to have faith. How we would struggle to trust Him at all. That would be a torturous way to live. Thankfully, He is faithful. His promises are rock solid. He's never compromised on one of them. In fact, Thomas Brooks once wrote that it's better to say that there's no God than to say that God is unfaithful. That's how obvious God's faithfulness is. Believing in Him means believing in His faithfulness. Do a short exercise with me this morning, would you? Think about how God has been faithful to you in the following ways. Provision. Isn't it true that God has faithfully provided for you, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Relationships. Think about how faithfully God has brought wonderful people into your life. Family, friends, mentors, helpers. Answered prayers. God always answers our prayers in one way or another. Looking back, can you trace God's faithfulness as you've prayed and received His blessings? Your own growth. Hasn't God faithfully been transforming you more and more into His likeness through His grace? If you stop and think on it, friends, perhaps you'll, like me, begin to see that God has been far more faithful than we even realized. When David said that his faithfulness reaches to the skies, I think he was right. So here's the challenge. Don't stop thanking Him for these things. He's so faithful. He keeps on providing, helping, answering, transforming, giving. And so stop a moment today and every day and proclaim with David-like joy the words of the old hymn, "Great is thy faithfulness."
to heavenly